Hi, my name is Lorraine Hurst. I'm from the Cooking Good Project and I'm here today with Tessa Matthews. Tessa, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Tessa Matthews and I'm the social prescribing link worker for Brackley and Toaster Primary Care Network.
Brilliant, brilliant. Now, Tessa and I have been talking about what some of the challenges are for people at the moment, and one of them is around we're all drinking perhaps alcohol, and we're drinking at home more than we have been, and just what it is in terms of what is a safe limit, and if we're wanting to cut back, how do we do that, that kind of thing. So we decided we'd do a little video for you about that. Just to start us off, Tessa, what in your mind, if you were talking to your clients, would you talk about in terms of safe limits?
In terms of safe limits, well, the government now says there is no such thing as a safe limit. They now go for a lower risk limit, and the lower risk is no more than 14 units of alcohol in a week, and that doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, it's exactly the same. And a unit of alcohol depends on what you're drinking. So with spirits, it's 25 ml of the spirit. With wine, it's roughly a small glass of wine, which is 125 ml, or half a pint of beer.
Right, great. So that's fantastic. So I've got some props here, and you're going to tell me, we're going to work out what 25...
To start with, can you measure out 25 ml so we can see what that looks like? And this is literally just the alcohol. I know we've got coloured liquid today because it makes it easier to see. So we're going to get Lorraine to measure that out, and then I'm going to ask her to put it in what would be your normal gin glass that you'd have at home. Yep.
Right, so not a very accurate measure, but it's definitely above the 20 and below the 30. So...
Right. And that actually doesn't look like an awful lot, does it?
No.
And that's the problem, is that when we're at home, that's why in the old days the pubs used to serve your gin and tonic or whatever in a long tall glass, because it made it look like you were getting more gin. And so when you're at home with the small flat bottom glasses, most of us would pour in at least a double, if not more than that. And therein lies your problem. Yes. Because you think you've only had one glass and you don't realise actually how much more alcohol you're having when you're at home than you would do in a pub.
Definitely wouldn't be unusual for me at home to put that much into this.
And that would therefore be a double, so then there are fewer of those that you can drink.
Yeah.
And also it's looking at the driving aspects of things, because people tend to think that if I've had a drink in the evening, I've gone to bed, I wake up, my body's processed everything, all is right with my world. Unfortunately, it actually takes the body about an hour per unit of alcohol to process it, which means that if you've managed to drink a bottle of wine in a night, then that will actually take 9 hours for your body to process all the alcohol out, which it would be fine if you were driving the following morning, because most of us kind of don't stop drinking at midnight and then and then kind of jump in the car. But it is something to think about. And obviously if you've had 2 bottles of wine, that's 18 units, and so that's 18 hours before all the alcohol is out of your system. Which is something to think about, if you are drinking and then going out for whatever the following morning.
Absolutely. So that's great. That's a gin.
Is that double vodka you've got there, Lorraine?
Double vodka, that is. Yeah, double gin or double vodka. Yes, it is quite a lot, isn't it? It's actually watered down orange juice at the moment.
Yes, well, yes.
A little early for the gin, I know. So this is a normal wine glass that I would drink out of at home.
Can you measure out 125 ml into that, please?
Yes, indeed. Wow. Right.
Now, how many people do you reckon would fill their glass to that level and not top it up a bit?
Yeah, if you gave that to a guest, if they weren't driving, you would normally probably top that up a little bit, wouldn't you?
Exactly.
Definitely. So that would that be a small glass in it?
Yes, that's a small glass.
Great.
The ones that the pub look at you and go, really, is that all you want?
Yeah. Yes.
Because there is a fair amount of pressure too on people to actually have more than a small glass, even if that's all they're after.
Definitely, and especially when you're pouring it at home, that's the thing.
Yes.
And sorry, remind me, how many units of alcohol in that?
That's just over a unit.
That's just over a unit, okay.
Yeah.
It's not too bad in terms of units, is it? But
no, it's not.
But it's probably greater in calories, isn't it?
Yes, it is, well. Yeah, because the calorific value of your gin and your slimline tonic, or your vodka and your slimline tonic, is only 60 calories and 1 unit of alcohol if the pub's pouring, not you. And if you have it's actually a medium glass of wine, so that's 2 units of alcohol and 133 calories.
I'm just wondering how much volume is 2 units of wine?
That's 175.
Testing your knowledge. Right, so I'm just going to try a medium glass there. So this would be about 2 units of alcohol.
That's 2 units of alcohol, and it's 133 calories. So actually, for the same calorific and slightly less calories but the same amount of alcohol, you can have 2 pub measures of gin and tonic to 1 medium glass of wine.
Yeah, so that's about the limit. And if the limit is, or the safe, or the
lower risk levels of drinking.
Yep. The lower risk is 14 units, then
yes,
you know it's one of those a night, isn't it?
Yeah, maximum, simply because the government also suggests that you do actually have a couple of days off because the liver does need some time to recover.
Absolutely. That's really interesting. It's a good reminder, especially at the moment when we might be drinking at home more often, and might one day think that's not enough. I mean, to top it up obviously with your tonic or your mixer, and then that, if it's slimline, that won't add calories, will it? But if it's not, it will add some calories.
Yes.
And something I've noted is that even the slimline mixers, although they don't add calories, they can still spike people's blood sugar levels, because the body can't differentiate between a real sugar and a very synthetic sugar. So things like aspartame and so on, they do actually spike blood sugars. So it's just something to be aware of for people who think, especially if they happen to have any blood sugar issues or they're diabetic. So something for them to bear in mind with those types of mixers. I think that's some quite useful. What was beer? What in terms of volume are we talking about beer? And
beer's half a pint is roughly a unit.
Half a pint. So there we are. My larger measure.
But the calorific value of beer does really depend on exactly what you're drinking.
Yes.
So whose beer you've got.
That they vary quite a lot.
Yes, it does vary quite a lot.
That's quite a bit of volume there. This is a cider glass.
Yeah, and the other thing to think about too is the mental health effects of alcohol, because alcohol is naturally a depressant. And so to start with, it will depress all the sad bits of whatever's going on in your head. But eventually, if you drink enough, depending on what enough is for you, because that will vary person to person, it then depresses the happy bits too. So you end up actually more depressed than you were before you started drinking, which is, another thing to think about.
It's so important, isn't it? Especially when we're thinking about our mental health at the moment, if we are suffering with any any mood swings or on so on. And just to add to that as well, I know from the nutrition side of things that it's also, alcohol is a hormone disruptor, so
Right.
it can really send your hormones on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
So there again, that can affect mood. So it probably goes together with what you're describing. So I think that's really useful actually to and this is an orange juice I can drink later, not necessarily alcohol.